but it is a great pleasure and privilege and honor to say hello once again to the one and only Captain Eric. There he is.
We are back.
We're back, baby. I wish I could virtually hug you, Captain. I mean, this is I never thought I'd see the day.
Here it is. It's 2022. Things change.
Amazing. I did reach out multiple times. There was a lot of red messages, no replies. We did have that one weird interview with Pitbull where you were there, but you're not. It was kind of. But I like. Are we back? Are we friends again? Like, is this a thing now?
We're back. It's the era of social media. We got to be back.
I love it.
Things are in the. We cannot react the same old way. Otherwise, we'll be prisoners of our past.
Wow.
Not pioneers of the future.
Wow, this is profound stuff, Captain. I mean, have you changed? Have you evolved? Where are these sayings coming from?
Yeah, definitely have evolved. I'm always about evolving. I think in the area of social media, we live in a perception of ourselves, and it came down to we've the coach of the year. And back in 2019, when I had the two champs, and I did what I said I set out to do, which was to get, two champs, 5 belts, and I just felt slighted as my fighters could not get fighters of the year of who they beat, and I couldn't get coach of the year, which means my fighters, I felt, didn't just get the respect they deserved, and I just kind of realized there was watching something on TikTok, a guy named Jay Shetty. He was a monk, and he was quoting someone else, but the quote goes, "I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am." And what that means in the era of social media is we live in a perception of ourselves, and this is not a good championship mindset. Like mindset, Mike always says. You got to have a championship mindset. And if I think you think I'm the number one coach in the game, then I feel that I am. If I think you think I'm weak, then I feel that I'm weak. We outsource how we think about ourselves on social media, and I want to change that. And the results is I want my coach, my athletes are producing and getting the results. We actually got another couple world champions, Figueiredo, Patricky Pitbull, and I want them to think they know that they're the number one team in the world, which makes us all around from uptown to bottom one of the number one teams in the world. And that's the championship mindset I want the team to have.
I love it. And thank you for bringing that up. And I felt genuinely bad, honestly, about you feeling bad and being mad at me. And you know how much I respect you and what you've done in the sport. And it's just a stupid thing. And so thank you for burying the hatchet. And it was, honestly, it made my day when you reached out to me and sent me that message. So thank you. And congrats on all the success over the last 2 years. We would have talked many a time over the last 2 years, but unfortunately we're in this little spat. But I'm very happy to be talking to you once again. And there's a lot going on in your life. In fact, I believe you're in Brazil right now, correct?
Correct. I'm in Brazil. We have some big fights going on. I'm trying to do, as I'm in Brazil, I'm helping out guys still at Fight Ready over at, Mark Madsen just arrived from Denmark. He's one of the pioneers of MMA, the Olympian. He just arrived again to start camp out at Fight Ready. And then I also have Zhang Wei Li's out in, Thailand. She's training out there. She didn't have wouldn't say the reach, was really the time to fly from the East all the way to Fight Ready, because when you come from places like China and you got to go back to Singapore, it takes about 10 days to recover. I've done that trip with Cejudo, and it was hectic trying to recover. So they stayed and they went to a new gym, Bang Tao, with the Hickman brothers, and she's doing well out there. And I want to say, I believe Yuri's about to arrive there as well. Yuri Prohaska, who's fighting Glover Teixeira. So we've been communicating via WhatsApp and sending videos to each other, and just trying to, be not just Captain America, is international now.
Yeah.
Really about not just Brazil, but really helping out, athletes and warriors around the world,
So
making a difference and an impact.
will you be in Singapore cornering Zhang Weili and Yuri?
We haven't decided yet because I don't know when I'll be able to go out to Thailand. There's also there's an Asian contender, a UFC contender that an MMA fighter that is competing in the Asian Dana White contenders. His name is Albarracin. We have 3 athletes from Inner Mongolia that train they're fight ready, and he's one of them, and he's training and they're fighting the day before UFC Singapore. So I actually have 3 guys that I help train, but it's still in the air when I can make it out there. If I can make it to Thailand in time, I don't know what the COVID restrictions are. I'm still here. We got Leandro Ego. He's fighting Danny Stabatello in the $1 million Bellator tournament. We got Patricky Pitbull defending his world title and Bellator as well. So we got a lot of things going on. I'm kind of splitting my time all around the world.
It's crazy. I have to ask you about Henry Cejudo. Is he officially coming back? Is this 1,000%? Will he fight again this year?
Triple C will officially become C4 this year. He is back in the USADA pool. He dove headfirst into it. Henry comes from the Olympic Training Center. He's been being tested since he was a sophomore in high school. So he'll be good to go as soon as the USADA, I guess that period of testing is done. He'll be good to go. He's already in training. Henry really never stopped training. When Henry was coaching, it was awesome. He was there every day. And sometimes you always hear this at athletes is like when you become a coach, you become better. But you're still not in your prime. It's hard to go back. But Henry's still in his prime. He became a coach. He's one of the best coaches in the game. You saw what he did with Figueiredo. You saw what he did with Zhang Weili. He helped bring in Jon Jones and Yuri Prohaska. I mean, this guy was putting in work. And on top of having a wife and new baby, America, and America the Beautiful. And he was putting in work and maximizing his time and effort to help these guys achieve their athletic dreams. And now he's learned, he's studied, and now he's got the opportunity to come back, and he's coming for more gold for sure.
So when you say that he's going to become C4, does that mean when he returns, he's fighting at 45?
The word on the street is 35. So I think he's coming after Aljamain.
Interesting. So
I think that's I think Volkanovski, I don't think he understands how good Henry is. I think he's scared of him or he's blowing him off. I think Volkanovski's great. Henry thinks he's average, but they haven't been able to get them on board with each other. But I do think if he comes back and gets the 135-pound title, he can move up and an immediate world title shot at 145 and fight, whether it's Volkanovski or Max Holloway. Henry, if you asked me 2 to 3 years ago, I would never thought Henry would want to fight Max Holloway. But like I said, when Henry started coaching and he started watching, we started watching Max Holloway, and I think you fight Volkanovski a few times for the Korean Zombie fight, and we saw, and Henry's like, man, I could get Holloway. I want Holloway. So Henry's confident in whether it's Holloway or Alex.
And so do you think that he will get a title shot, a 135-pound title shot in his return?
That is the plan. We'll see we'll see if Ali puts him. Ali can get a lot of people title shots. It should not be that hard for the greatest combat athlete, Olympic champion, and 2-time UFC champion who left on top. George GSP did it. Triple C should be able to do it as well.
So do you think that Aljamain will fight someone else? You know, there's been talk of TJ, this and that, and then fight Henry? Or do you think Aljo's next title defense will be against Henry?
Well, remember, Henry's got to go through that USADA testing period. So that could take us to, I believe, October. If there's no fight booked before October, yes, straight into it.
Did you always? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, Henry's done this before. Henry, when he was coming back for the 2012 Olympics, 4 years off, he went to Beat the Streets, which is with Mike Novogratz, the king of Bitcoin. He put a dual meet against Russia in the center of Times Square. 4 years off, Henry comes out and beats one of the best Russians in the world. So there's never underestimate Triple C. That's one thing I've learned. So he could go right into a title shot, and believe me, C4, it's coming.
By the way, I'd be down with the title shot off the bat since he left as champion, and I'd be down with him fighting. You know, they obviously booked Volkanovski and Holloway, but that's coming up, and you know the timing would work out. There's no clear-cut next guy. If Volkanovski beats Holloway July 2nd, I'd be down with him walking straight into the 45 title too. I feel like there's no better time than now to make that fight because there's no clear-cut guy, and it's a great story. Someone going for a third belt. What do you make of the UFC and in particular Dana White's reluctance to kind of embrace Henry here? Because I feel like every time it comes up, he's like, nah, he's retired. No way, 45. It doesn't feel like he's welcoming him back with open arms, at least outside looking in.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm not sure if it was a surprise or not. Henry, I can tell you that I didn't know Henry was retiring. So if I didn't know Henry was retiring in the cage, I'm not sure if Dana White knew. I think, you know, Henry probably has always mentioned it. Henry before he started MMA or got in the UFC, he's like, I got 10 fights in me and I'm done. He's always been a person to conquer what's never been conquered and then, you know, win the Olympics as the youngest in history and then boom, move on to something else. So that's kind of the history of wrestlers in general. You know, they win an NCAA title and boom, I'm done. I'm going to use what I learned in wrestling and apply it and transition to another career and become great at that. And, you know, that's kind of the way of the wrestler. And, you know, Henry is a wrestler at heart, and he accomplished everything set out to do. I remember when he was a sophomore in high school at the Olympic Training Center, writing on the piece of paper his goals of being a father, being an Olympic champion, being a UFC champion, and he became a champ. So when you have a bullseye on your back since you're 12 years old, he's been number one. You know, you need that rest. Everybody thought he retired. It was a money thing, but it was not a money thing. This is what wrestlers do. We never could make money before the name NIL era. You won a state title for glory. You won an NCAA title for glory. If you accepted any money, you were banned from the NCAA or you were suspended. So it was never about money. That is the way of the wrestler. It's about glory and achieving greatness. And his body, when your potential is greatness, your body doesn't let you rest until you succeed. He succeeded. Now it was time for him to rest. And I don't think everybody understands that. Everybody thought it was a money thing. Maybe now that he's achieved everything, now he does feel he deserves it, and rightfully so. This is prize fighting.
Did you think he would always come back?
I did think that him being a father, him having a baby, there would be a different type of motivation now. I wasn't sure, but I did think that. I thought, man, he's gonna. And the other thing is, he's got a lottery ticket in his pocket. A lottery ticket that every day gets older, and at some time that a couple numbers fade, you can't cash that lottery ticket. You know, there's $1 million lottery ticket in his pocket, no matter what he starts at. Of course, he wants more, but you know, he's doing his business with Triple C in the Schmo, and he's got some other things going on with his real estate and building. But nothing's going to make you money faster than what he's great at, and that's MMA and fighting.
Well, I think the UFC should welcome him back with open arms. He's a name, he's a brand, he's entertaining, he's an Olympian, he's an Olympic gold medalist. Like, they need to welcome him back. I will say, I still love Henry, even though he won't talk to me anymore. It's very unfortunate. But when we were rubbing elbows, I was getting him in there, hobnobbing with the Bella twins and things like that. I mean, life was good, it seemed like. He was a double champ. Maybe pass along the message that, Helwani's here waiting for him because, just look at the history. Things were going great for Triple C when Helwani was on his side.
He'll watch it. He'll watch it again. He'll be watching
I know he misses me. I miss him too.
I told him I was coming on.
What do you say?
I told him I was coming on, and I got, being in Brazil, he's always contacting me. Every time my fighters fight, whether it's Patricio, Patricky, Henry, Figueiredo, they always contact each other, especially when we got a belt on around the shoulder and we just won it. Immediately we're talking to each other. And I'll remember that, Patricio Pitbull, after he beat AJ McKee, a young, undefeated pound for pound in AJ McKee, called up Henry and said, hey, you fight Volkanovski, I'll be your training, I'll be your sparring partner. And I thought that was something that's important to say, that, the camaraderie that my fighters have, although they're from different countries, I've been able to bring these guys together. And Henry hasn't been here in a couple of years, but he hasn't talked to you a couple of years, so anything's possible.
Let's go.
We bring him back down to Brazil, and we get him ready for, like you said, Volkanovski. Nobody's better to train Henry for Volkanovski than would be the Pitbull brothers.
Oh, it'd be great.
Patricky Pitbull, finally, after 10 years of being in Bellator at 36 years old, never gave up on his dream. And something that I'm one of the things I'm most proud of is not, it used to be the champ status, but I can tell you that having the brothers, the first brothers in history, simultaneously do it at the same time, be world champions, is something I've always been striving for. And to do it in another country with being a pioneer is not something of the past. You could still be pioneers. I'm always, something that I learned through a sports hypnotist, and he told me, he goes, Eric, you're different because you're not just trying to be a champion as a coach, or he goes, you're always looking to make history, and you're attracted to people that are looking to make history, not just be a champion, looking to make history. And that's important. And I love the pioneer thing. And that's why guys like Mark Madson's a pioneer. I got a pioneer from Kyrgyzstan. He could be the first, his name is Risk Kill. He could be the first Kyrgyzstan male MMA fighter, across Shevchenko in the UFC. I have a fighter from Iran now, the Sultan of Swat. I gave him that name.
That's a good name.
He got a tattoo of it.
That's a good name.
So, hey, Davuji, an Indian now. I have an Indian fighter. So I'm kind of, like I said, going around the world, obviously, with Zhang Wei Li being the first China-born UFC champion. I love how the different mindset of these athletes is amazing. It's something that I'm always attracted to. The legends that these guys are creating, and I don't know. And I have I've been doing something with I don't know.
Oh,
you still there?
Yeah.
It was last year. I went to Ukraine.
Oh wow.
We have an MMA fighter. She's a former #1 wrestler in the world named Victoria Anthony. She was competing in Ukraine last year in wrestling. I went to go see her, made a lot of friends out there. And I noticed the warriors that these guys are. And, we're witnessing, the bravery of these Ukrainians right now. And I was thinking about a nonprofit. How can I use this platform of MMA, a platform in which the highest paid athlete in all of sports is an MMA athlete, higher than Cristiano Ronaldo, higher than LeBron James, and that's Conor McGregor. And the platform that we have, how do we take advantage of it to give guys an opportunity to achieve their athletic dreams. And, you know, when I went there to Ukraine, I loved the people, the culture, and the fact that they're brave warriors in competition. 1 year later, and I see what they're going through. I keep in contact with some of these friends and that I met through sports. They have an unimaginable burden to overcome. And how can the world of MMA help soften the burden and impact and make a difference? And although being mighty and valiant doesn't mean you're not worthy of support. And I want to help them out too, as I help out these athletes from other countries. You know, I'm thinking of bringing some athletes from there, or aspiring people that want to come into MMA. And I'd love to bring them to the U.S. as well, but sometimes the visa issue is a little bit of a problem. I'm looking to bring these guys to Brazil and, you know, have one of the number one teams in Brazil, you know, help these aspiring athletes and refugees that are interested in entering the sports and mixed martial arts, and, you know, put them on some of the best coaching and resources and Mindset Mike and all these guys, all the resources that we have to use to make the number one team in the world, you know, champs and the First Brothers and all that. And, you know, I'm just trying to make a difference now and
I love it.
Use the platform that we've created.
This is beautiful. I love it. Can I hit you with a couple of quick hitters here? Because we only have a few minutes left, unfortunately. Are you going to keep working with Jon Jones? I saw you with Jon Jones a little bit. Is that a thing?
I definitely hope so. He came out, I want to say, 3 times. I haven't seen him since Thanksgiving. But then again, I've been going back and forth to Brazil and all around either. We still keep in contact. He gave me a phone call. We've kind of been playing phone tag, but man, Jon Jones is a special talented athlete. Is something that we put him with some wrestlers, and it was like, man, this guy he still got it, even in the wrestling platform in which he hadn't done for 10, 12 years. So I definitely hope so. You know, I saw one of his coaches at one of the fights recently in Bellator. I think it was Six Gun Gibson, and we were conversing about him and how impressed we are with him. So I definitely hope we get to, because like I have a goal of not only, spreading around the world, friendship through sport and support through sport, is to get 10 world champions, and starting with heavyweight. And there's nobody better. There would be nobody better to start that off than Bones Jones.
That would be incredible. What about Borrachinha? Are you still with Paulo Costa?
Borrachinha, so I haven't coached him since Israel Adesanya's fight. I was coaching him for when he was going to fight Robert Whittaker. And then he got hurt. And then, like I said, I have so many fighters that I'm coaching around the world that I'm trying to all bring them into a constant one place, whether it's Fight Ready in Arizona, with all the great coaches there, Santino and Eddie and Alan and Dave Zowan, our team leader, and then or in Brazil with the Pitbull brothers, Patricio Patricky, Leandro Alter Ego, and White Walker, who just fought Paul Daly on 2 weeks' notice. We have a lot of great guys here as well, with the great coaching staff and Olympians like Everton, 2-time Olympian and world champion, and kickboxing coaches and karate coaches here, and just into a concentrated effort. And then I just can't split my time going to him. So I'm trying to get him to come to us, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
All right. He's a character on social media. Golly. I don't know where this social media came from, but holy smoke.
Definitely. But I tell you, he's like, it gets eyes. It catches eyes. I can tell you that. Some of the stuff he says is wild. I get the notifications and I look at him like, oh my God. But you can't take your eyes off of him. And he's not only is he one of the most exciting fighters, everybody calls him, the best looking guy in MMA. And that's something that attracts men, women, everything.
Sure.
Sean Strickland, all those guys.
Yes. By the way, last one, Figueiredo. Are you going to work with him when he comes back?
Definitely. Figueiredo, man. That trilogy was, that's my third rematch with guys Henry versus DJ, Patricio versus AJ, in which they lost by submission or knockout. And we came back and won 5-round fights. And that's another thing I'm extremely proud of these guys. It is so hard to get finished and then come back and actually not just, not get finished, but actually win. And that is so hard to do. And Figueiredo is one of the best athletes I've ever seen. He was at Neuroforce One out in Arizona. This guy was the most dedicated they've ever seen. He said he came in as the worst numbers, and he broke all the records by the end.
Wow.
And, I filmed, we had like a documentary, we documented it. And before we even went to the fight, when he heard those results, he cried.
Wow.
And it was so emotional because it was all the sacrifices of him not seeing his family for months and doing everything correct. We turned over every stone for Figueiredo, and we're going to have to do it again for his next fight. So we keep the course, and we're coming for that world title. We're coming to defend that world title. Yep. I would prefer, like I said, I prefer Kai Kara France, and I would prefer, and the reason why is to have your buddy Izzy Adesanya in his corner. We won't take that fight unless Izzy is in his corner.
I love it.
That's what we want. These fighters are doing well in the corners. Khabib, Henry's in the corners. Put Izzy in your corner so we can get that extra when we get that win. He's going to feel it.
Eric, great to catch up again. I've missed you. I'm happy this is behind us. I want to congratulate you on all the success over the past 2.5 years. We've come a long way. We've grown up. We've evolved. I've changed jobs. We're back where we belong. So much love to you and the team. Tell Henry I say hello. Tell all the fighters I say hello. Good luck in the upcoming fights. And you're always welcome here.
Definitely. Thanks for having me. And look me up at Captain America, CPT Americas.
It's on the screen.
I'm going to put up the link. And like I said, I'm going to try to get the nonprofit. I'm not going to try. I'm going to. And we're going to change the world. We're going to make a difference. And it's going to be through MMA.
Thank you, Eric. Talk to you soon, Captain.
Okay.
There he is. Captain Eric Albarracin, one of the best coaches in MMA. I mean, what a roster of guys and gals, right?